All right, so friends around the world, a very warm good morning, good afternoon, good evening. I'm Srikanth from NRI Samay Radio, Los Angeles. So, friends, Kargil Vijay Diwas on July 26, 2013 is one day which no citizen of India can afford to forget. It is a day and date every citizen should at least take few minutes off to remember those brave souls who sacrificed their lives for our today, tomorrow, and for our future. The men and women in uniform and in forces are extremely focused protecting the nation, securing citizens, and protecting our generations. But are the citizens and lawmakers of our country taking a note of their sacrifices that our forces did do all throughout? So what can citizens do to help our armed forces? And what do men and women in armed forces really feel about and what their requirements are? So it becomes a moral responsibility to talk about all these topics, also about the life of soldiers, their families, their problems, their inner thoughts, and what our forces think about how citizens can contribute. And this is what we plan to focus on the eve of Kargil Vijay Diwas. So joining us from various parts of India, we have Megha Pandey, works in internal communications, CPA Global Company. We have General VK Singh, needs no introduction, ex-Chief of Army Staff of the Indian Army and now actively campaigning against corruption. We have Major General Satbir Singh, warrior of 1971 war, a Sena Medal, and had been on NRI Samay Radio earlier. We have Colonel Anil Kaul, got injured during the UN peacekeeping mission in Jaffna, Sri Lanka, a great patriot and a soldier against LTT. So we have also from Citizens Initiative side, we have Ankit Gupta, founding member of Citizens for Forces, a registered NGO organization. First of all, to all of you, sir, thank you, a heartfelt thank you for joining us today and welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. It's a great honor to have you on our show today. So let me start off with General VK Singh ji. Sir, Army is remembered when there is firing across the border or when there is a disaster inside the border. Sir, how do we make Army more mainstream and how do we make them more transparent so that there is more support and respect for what they do and who they are? Or in other words, when students thinking about careers, choosing a career in military is a very unlikely option these days. How do we work this out, sir?
Firstly, let me say that a nation that does not respect its soldiers can never attain greatness. The soldier is the one who provides the nation not only security from external aggression, but also internal stability. And it is this role that needs to be looked at very, very seriously. In the hearts of the citizens of India, there is a great amount of love for the soldiers, the sailors, the airmen, the women who make up the armed forces of India. However, I think there is an apathy at the political class level. And that is why the type of recognition, the type of dedication, the type of, one can say, motivation that should go out, that is what is lacking. There's a great amount that needs to be done. And that starts from how the armed forces and the personnel who come from the armed forces, whether serving or retired, are given their respect and due by all these people who seem to be in power.
Very well said, sir. Very well said. A nation that doesn't respect the armed forces, it's definitely true. A nation that doesn't respect cannot become a great nation. So I wanted to quickly jump on to Major General Satbir Singh ji. Sir, you've heard General VK Singh sahab mentioning about how important it is to respect our armed forces. Sir, I wanted to bring up this. Pensions, salaries, benefits have always been a point of contention. One would imagine serving the country is one of the most honorable thing one could do. And despite this, right, the situation also, General Saab was mentioning about the apathy. The situation is pretty grim. I'm sure you would agree with this, or if you don't agree with this, please let us know. So if so, then where do you think the gap is, sir, and what can be done to bridge this gap, General Satbir Singh Saab?
Okay, first of all, to the word, my friends, my brothers and sisters, I would say Jai Hind and Jai Bharat. And today we are commemorating the Kargil Day. Kargil Diwas, this is the day on 26 July at night 8 p.m. when the last Pakistani intruder was evicted from our motherland. For a soldier, this is a day of pride that he has been able to protect the integrity of the nation. So I first want to say to the world that we as soldiers look up to, the day when we will be called upon to sacrifice our lives. This is the day when 527 of our brave soldiers, martyrdoms were achieved by them, and another 1,363 of them they were war wounded and disabled. To evict our intention, which was wrongly played up by Pakistan, that our Prime Minister went for a hand of friendship, and they did wrong to us. Now, having said that, the question which you have asked, yes, I totally agree with General VK Singh that a country which does not respect its soldiers is doomed to fail. To that extent, it is applicable to everyone, and so as our country. The soldier looks up to the country being safe, stress-free, just, and a unified nation. A soldier is there always where the country comes first, always and every time, and then the comforts of others and last his own. Yes, to that extent, I'm afraid we've lost 65 years. The governments of the governments have not given their due, just and fair treatment to the Indian soldiers by various governments. Yes, I agree with this particular thing that we have a lot of deficiencies which the nation must correct immediately, because it is here in a democracy where a soldier can live with dignity and respect. There is an unwritten agreement between a soldier and the nation, and that is that while the soldiers will lay down their lives to protect the nation, and in return, whenever they are in service, they are given the best of equipment, the best of weapon systems to fight the opponents who has an evil eye on our country. Also, he's looked after when he's found absolutely fit. And once he gets old, then he's also looked after when he's laid down the arms now. And
so I think we have lost General Satbir Singh Saab here. It's very true that, whenever there is a gang rape that happens in Delhi, we tend to respond. And the second thing is whenever there is a midday meal episode that shows up in Bihar, then we wake up for things. So it's been really surprising that we are taking up actions as and when things unfold. There's a mutilation that's there across the borders, then we wake up and then talk about it, and then think about soldiers, think about our forces. But this should become a routine procedure wherein we keep talking and then think about the lives of the soldiers who are really sacrificing for the country. So, Colonel Anil Kaul Saab, I just want to bring this up with you. Life after retirement from military personnel, right? You've been there in the military. Now, if they have to find a job, and live a civil life, it's definitely not an easy transition. People who are from the armed forces are not mentally prepared for such a transition, or they do not get proper help to really settle down. Sir, is my assumption wrong? What are some of the basic things you feel the governments or institutions should do to help soldiers have a smooth transition, sir? The reason I'm bringing all of this up is because, at least on this day, wherein we're talking about the Kargil Diwas Day, at least on this day, the biggest tribute that we can give to our forces is by really, really looking into their problems and then analyzing them and see if there is anything each one of them can get a sense of how they feel, the forces feel. Sir, can you give us an insight, Anil Saab?
Srikanth, thank you very much for giving me the privilege of answering your question. First and foremost, I'd like to answer your question in two parts. Firstly, I'd like to take on what General VK Singh said. I agree with him totally. There is a 200% disconnect between the armed forces and the civilian hierarchy, which supposedly goes by the saying that the armed forces are under civilian control. Civilian control means political control, not bureaucratic control. Unfortunately, in India, it is the bureaucratic control which has led to the situation that exists today. And that is causing all the heartburns that have resulted in the past 65 years. The second most important point is that 90% of our population is disconnected from the armed forces because they have no exposure to the armed forces. Therefore, it is high time that some sort of compulsory military training for every citizen is introduced in this country to understand what the forces are all about. These two aspects themselves will bring about a lot of improvement in the condition of the armed forces as of today. Now, coming to your question about transition, I don't agree with you on the fact that transition is not easy. You'll be surprised to know that in service, the kind of exposure an armed forces personnel, whether from the Army, Navy or Air Force has with systems other than what we call Janda or Danda is plenty. And we can easily transship into any department of any corporate system with ease because of the training, the mind, the intellect and the mental training that we undergo during the tenure that we spend during our service, plus the kind of courses that are run for us during service. We pick up a lot of information and a lot of experience on issues ranging from HR to management to finance, because let me tell you once again, the whole concept of management to the corporate world, was actually given by the armed forces. So therefore, I face this very silly situation where because of being disabled in combat, I was not considered fit enough to join any corporate entity. My applications were rejected because of my being 80% disabled. That did not mean that my mind had stopped working. So therefore, there is a need of action at three levels. One, military training at the... Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, sir. Please go ahead.
One, begin military training, compulsory military training for 2 years for every single individual above 18 years of age. Number two, representation of the soldier in the highest political and bureaucratic circles. That includes the introduction of Chief of Defence Staff and possibly even nominated members of Parliament.
Place another call.
There is no issue why we...
To hang up,
what?
Please press the star key.
Go ahead, sir. Sorry about that.
And thirdly, that there should be adequate avenues available for this transition that you talked about. I'm not saying reservation, but definitely avenues should be available and you fit the right peg in the right hole. And
right.
If these three are taken into account, this country will have a wealth of manpower, a wealth of trained, dedicated, disciplined manpower to take it further ahead.
Right, sir. Very true. Sir, I want to come back to General VK Singh Saab. Sir, if you could enlighten us, you've been seeing this anti-corruption movement at the helm in the past 2 years after 2010, the 2G spectrum scam and all. There's a serious discussions and also people coming onto streets, and Anna Hazara movement has taken it to heights. So I wanted to ask you, whatever we see today, whether it is the midday meal issue or the buildings being collapsed or the institutions having issues, Uttarakhand, 11,000 people, as far as the NGOs are saying, is concerned, 11,000 people missing. Everything is tied to corruption, and you are also part of this Bhrashtachar Mukti Morcha right now that's going on, and you've been part of the campaign that Annaji is also there on. Sir, is corruption really a factor as far as defense is concerned as well or not, sir?
Shrikant, it is like this. I think we should separate out the armed forces from the way the entire system has gone down in corruption. If you have to look for an island which is oblivious to what is going around it, it is the armed forces. Yes, we do hear of incidences. We do hear of various things that take place at times in the three services. They are aberrations, and I am 100% positive that all people at the helm of affairs and all the services, they take adequate measures to curb such things. Having said this, why have we descended to a level like this where every day you hear of things like this? I think what Anil Kaul was hinting at, it is the nexus, like we say in India, it is the nexus between the Neta, the Babu and the Chola, the crony capitalism as it is termed as. It is these three that is resulting in this endless scams that you keep hearing of huge amount. And I think a time has come when citizens of India have to put their foot down and say, no more. That is the only way it will go away. We have to ensure that we bring in greater transparency. We have to ensure that we bring in greater accountability. And we have to ensure that we do not vote for people who have got credentials which won't fit into the polity which has to be clean. All this has to be brought in, Shrikant, and I'm quite sure all the people who are on the program today would agree with it.
Absolutely, sir, absolutely. And then the more the awareness and people like, we have seen Santosh Hegdeji, we have seen you coming onto streets, we have seen Anna Hazareji, we have seen a broader section of civil society right now understanding the need for socio-political activism. It's not only the social activism very much isolated to certain regions, but it also should culminate into, a broader political spectrum of things, because people should be educated in a way that they pick and choose the right men and women who can go into who can become lawmakers eventually. That's very true, sir. Sir, I wanted to also ask Anil Kaulji, because Anil Kaulji has brought in some interesting things. Anil Kaulji, and I'm seeing General VK Singh Saab say that, we have to really look at armed forces and the rest of the happenings in two different dimensions, which is absolutely true. And also General VK Singh Saab is saying that we have to educate people, all the citizens should put their foot in and make sure that they contribute towards this movement in making sure our institutions, politics and everything is corrected. Sir, in the backdrop of this, the daily education to the broader public is done by the media, and with the instances of paid media coming up in 2009, what role it has played. Anil Saab, I just want to get your inputs on this.
Shrikant, I'm in.
Oh, you're in, sir? Oh, thank you very much, Satbir Singh Saab. Yes. So I wanted to put this question both to Satbir Singh Saab and then Anil Saab. First I'll ask Anil Saab. Sir, we are seeing this media, which is the very important pillar of democracy, and not educating the citizens in the right sense. I'm not talking about every media, we cannot brand such things, but pockets of media are effectively not allowing the people to take the right judgment. Do you really think that the media's role is very important, sir, Anil sir?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Media today is a most prominent factor of any movement that you wish to bring change, whether political or any other type of change you want to bring, social, economic, political. Media is a very big factor, not only the electronic media but the print media. And believe you me, 2001 I personally recommended, that was much before VK Singh's time or anybody else's time, I personally recommended something called the Armed Forces Television. There is a need to educate this country on the armed forces by means of a national channel which is devoid of any pressure from the government for want of advertisements, and thereby calling the shots of what they say and what they won't say. Having been on the media n number of times, and I understand where you're coming from, it is imperative an independent channel be available for what we want. And that is not so difficult. And I'm sure with your reach and your suggestion across the world, funds are not going to be a problem to create such a channel. I would volunteer to be part of such a program.
Excellent, sir. I really resonate with your thoughts. Even before I go to Satbir Singh Saab, it is absolutely true that, for promoting yoga, there is a channel that's there in India. Animals have got an Animal Planet. Everyone, they started history to promote history. History has got his own channel called History Channel. For new innovations and inventions, there is a Discovery Channel. For armed forces who are, securing the borders, and then it's a stories of courage, compassion, and bravery that should be promoted to the public in order to encourage youngsters to come into the armed forces.
I'll interrupt. Shrikant, I'll interrupt you here on the History Channel. In the History Channel, time and again we see programs, movies, and short documentaries on all kinds of armed forces across the world, except for India, because our Indian forces have been muzzled. Our stories are not even allowed to be told under some ridiculous 1923 Official Secrets Act. How more ridiculous can it be?
Yes, sir.
Shrikant?
Yes, sir. Go ahead, Satbir Singh.
Shrikant, I want to come in. You have very rightly said, media, that is conveying information to everyone, is a force multiplier. Is a force multiplier not only in the conflict situation, but otherwise in the run-up to the conflicts, in the run-up to the situations which may erupt any time before the nation. And if media does play its role to the manner it is supposed to, it can act as a force multiplier. So preparatory stage, that is in the normal timings, the preparation for the nation, the knowledge about what your force is, what all the security agencies can do. So therefore, this particular thing, before in the preparatory stage, it's very important for passing information and preparing your nation. Every individual able body is a soldier. Therefore, they can play their rightful role if the situation demands any time, both internal threats as well as external threats. Therefore, if the media is independent, media gives out the situation in the rightful manner. During the conduct stage, if the situation arrives, if those informations are passed on which will help your own countrymen and also devoid that thing to the opponents who have come in or who has an evil eye when there's a situation, and after the situation is over, even then the media has a very important role to play. So therefore, media is a more force multiplier if they play their role independently, as told just now by Kargil Kaul, and this must be spread. And media should be ready to play its rightful role in the right directions.
Very true, sir. Very true. Absolutely. Let me bring in. We have Megha. Megha, are you on call, Megha, please?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi, Megha. Thank you for making it to the call. Megha, media becoming a force multiplier, as General Satbir Singh told us. Megha, it's also important that corporates pitch in. I'm living in U.S. Right now. I see multiple places, companies encouraging, lot of different things. Let's imagine I'm going to a SeaWorld here. The first thing they do before starting a show is, are there any people around who are from armed forces? They'll ask them to stand. Everyone stands, and then they'll ask the crowd to go for a round of applause. Thank you for sacrificing. The small kids get inspired, encouraged, and also in the corporate companies. Companies have got special privilege. I'm not comparing between this world and India, but I'm just saying that there are small little things, that initiatives that can be taken as far as corporate world is also concerned. Megha, what's your take on this? Are corporates really doing something, that means pitching in ideas of how they can really take care of the forces who are protecting our citizens?
It is very good to know that this kind of initiative is being run in the U.S. Unfortunately, I haven't come across such a kind of an initiative here in India. But yeah, I'm sure there are major corporates who are working with the army institutions, helping with education, with building of schools, hospitals, but in their own small ways. Yes, it is not as streamlined, as structured as you may find it there, but corporates are slowly waking up to it. For example, our own company, we were, a few years back, our company, the CEO of India was actually a colonel, and currently our VP admin is from Army. So, yes, we are waking up to it. We are waking up to the fact that the Army personnel, they are disciplined, the kind of grasp that they have about the various things, about the various situations, how to deal with it. It is something that we civilians always drive inspiration from. So, yes, I think that we are doing it, but it will take some time for us to get it in a streamlined manner, for us to get Army included and work towards it.
All right, perfect. So I'm hoping, when I browse on Google, I wanted to see if there is, because here I just want to give you an example. There is cell phones for soldiers. There's an initiative that I came across recently, wherein the citizens here donate their few minutes to the soldiers who are in Afghanistan, Iraq, or on the borders. So they don't. So eventually, their families get these free cell phone minutes. They can call their parents, their father, their sisters, their brothers who are there in the armed forces. Little things that can really drive and motivate and encourage our forces, their families, and taking care of them. Right. So. Yeah, I hope.
I'll interrupt you here. That is the inclusion. This is the inclusion of society into the armed forces. Unfortunately, in India, the armed forces are considered right from 47, and this goes back into history and genesis of this country. The armed forces were considered a British tool, and this has been paid out along drastically over the last 65 years, that they are somebody else. They are a class apart, which we are. But we are as much of nationalists as anybody else. However, this inclusion must come when civil society also has members in the armed forces. The political class asks 542 MPs, how many of their relations, maybe sons, daughters, brothers, anybody in the armed forces, you'll get a -0.1, not even 0.1%. This inclusion leads to those kind of initiatives that you're talking about in the U.S. That doesn't happen here.
Yeah. So,
Shrikant, yes, while I totally agree, but what I want to say is that now is the time when the world is waking up to this, and so as India, I'm sure the country is. As far as the countrymen are concerned, they have the highest respect, and they do all that what we can do, even everyone, corporate, any celebrities, everyone is onto it in the right directions, but a lot needs to be done. Lot needs to be done to not only let the people know what soldiering is all about, also know their contributions to it, so that every young man, every youth is ready to come and join it voluntarily. We are looking for, security is such a subject, such an issue.
Yes, sir.
As an example, in the Kerala Hooch tragedy, the victims get 5 lakhs from the state government of Kerala, whereas Major Unni Krishnan of 2611 gets 3 lakhs.
Yeah, there I agree with you. I agree with you totally.
Is it better to die in a Hooch tragedy or dying by your country?
Very true, very true.
That is what needs to be corrected.
Yes, and also, sir,
a lot needs to be done.
Very true, very true. I wanted to bring in General VK Singh Saab even before I go to Ankit Gupta. Ankit is on call as well. He's been waiting. I wanted to bring up another aspect of that. But I wanted to pitch in General VK Singh Saab. Saab, we have really come across a recent CBSE syllabus wherein the first chapter is about Bollywood heroine Priyanka Chopra on environmental studies. And the education system that I came across, I rarely come across a chapter in the syllabus which has a first chapter as a fallen hero or a Kargil soldier. Sir, do you think, is there anything that pressure can be applied so that few stories of our armed forces can go into the CBSE syllabus or state syllabus, sir? What's your thoughts on that?
Shrikant, I listened very carefully to what everybody was saying, and I endorse all the points that they have made. Let me just say one thing.
Sure.
Armed forces is not something which is like a meal eaten, appreciated and forgotten.
Right.
They have to remain like the khushbu of the country, which remains all pervasive right through one's life. And that is the kind of spirit that has to be brought in. And that spirit has to be brought in by all kinds of measures. Unfortunately, and I say unfortunately, there is a canard that was created when the country became independent. And the armed forces were looked at with suspicion, with the babus feeding the netas that, don't trust the armed forces, they can rebel. Look at what has happened in our neighborhood. I think this farce has gone for too long. This farce of trying to scare the political class and the political class taking advantage of it. It must be realized that the type of sacrifices the armed forces of this country have made, nowhere else in the world would people have made this kind of sacrifices. And I very strongly believe that you can't find a braver, a more dedicated, a more motivated, a more man upright than what an Indian soldier is. Nowhere in the world. We are proud that our soldiers are so good. Otherwise, heights like Kargil wouldn't have been cleared. These 530 odd people who laid down their lives out there, it is each one's blood is a saga in bravery where the world is concerned. Why can't this be taught to people? Why can't we propagate it? It is because this feeling that I told you, that has to be, banished from our system. It is high time that the civil society came up to apply the required pressure on all these people who have been trying to put the armed forces down.
Very true, sir. Very true. And, every drop of blood, that needs to be remembered. And we got to really pay back to each and every brave hero who has sacrificed their life. And we got to really have these conversations over and over and over again. Sir.
See, Shrikant, I'll just give you an example.
Yes, sir.
Uttarakhand, it is the maximum rescue work and saving has been done by the armed forces, right?
Right.
You just give some more time, they would be forgotten. Nobody would talk of them. All that they would talk of is what a political party did, what the other one did, what so-and-so Babu did, what so-and-so did. They just forget it because it doesn't suit them that their inefficiencies, their inadequacies, their corruption comes out because the armed forces are very efficient.
Very true. Very true. Absolutely true, sir. All that I hear over and over in the media is few people who have I don't know how this works as well, but I see only few pictures of armed forces who are rescuing, but the broader spectrum of space, of airspace, is given to the rest of the world. This is really incredible, and that's where the whole idea of media, what's going on. When we started NRI Samay as well, there's nobody who realized that there is something.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir. General Satbir, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. I really do not know what has gone in my recordings. So many times it got disconnected.
Yes,
but through Shrikant, I want to request the whole world that on the 26th July at 8 p.m. everyone should light up one candle at the gate, and also with one flower pray for those martyred in the Kargil war, and also all those other soldiers which have laid down their lives for the country ever since during independence and thereafter. Soldier is there to protect the integrity and sovereignty of the country, and they are doing it the best possible manner. And we, the veterans and the youth today, is now awakened. Like Ankit Gupta and his people, we started off this about 4 years back, and it is caught on. I have this request to make to the whole world through you, that on 26 July at 8 p.m., the whole world, whosoever has any connection,
yes, sir,
can and put a flower and pray for fallen soldier. Remember them not during the day, but always and every time.
Absolutely, sir. That's something that's our moral responsibility for every citizen, no matter where you are, whether you're an NRI as well, because I in NRI is still an Indian. Even if you're non-resident Indian, that Indian I in NRI is still an Indian, and everyone should really take the message that you're giving, sir. And we truly resonate with your ideas, sir. And you spoke about Ankit Gupta, and you know what? I stumbled with Ankit Gupta when Citizens for Forces Facebook page was posting some incredible messages about the forces. They motivate people. They tell what each one has sacrificed. I stumbled upon like that, and then got in touch with Ankit, and that's how the connection happened. I want to really bring in Ankit here. Ankit, if you're there on call, I wanted to ask you, Citizens for Forces is a citizens initiative, right? It's like, what are certain things that you do to help the forces, Ankit? Because I have seen one video of one rank, one pension that you guys were really doing the signature campaign. I've seen the visuals, I've seen the photos. So that's an incredible thing, thinking about their problems, thinking about their ideas, and promoting it, and awareness in the broader public. So Ankit, if you could just a little bit tell us what kind of initiatives Citizens for Forces take.
Hello.
Ankit, are you on call, please?
Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, Ankit, you're audible.
Am I audible to you?
Yes, Ankit.
Yeah. First of all, I would like to thank General VK Singh, General Satbir Singh, Colonel Anil Kaul, and the only lady in the panel, Megha Pandey, for accepting this request, and then to the NRI Samay for conducting this event continuously in the second year for Kargil Vijay Diwas. This question has been asked by many of my friends, that what you can do about forces. They are already well taken care of. This is justified, but the point is, whatever we can do may not lead to any direct impact, but indirectly we are in a bad shape. In India, if you compare the situation with Israel, Russia, UK, the respect for the soldiers they have, it's commendable. And in India we remember army only when a child fell into a water wall, or there is a case of flood or a rail accident or any tragedy like Mumbai. So my point is very limited. nowadays we started this organization 3 years back, and the only thing after Mumbai attack, when this major Undi Christian incident happened, because I was really shattered after that incident when the democratic elected chief minister said this. I don't want to repeat it. So the point is, the urban youth. My consultation is on urban youth, and I have discussed this thing with General Satbir Singh, General VK Singh, and Anil Kaul many times, that they are highly disconnected. Their life starts with cricket and Bollywood and ends at cricket and Bollywood. You can ask them any question regarding to Bollywood, cricket, they will tell you. But if you ask them, tell me the one name of PVC, they will not be able to. So this is something which is really terrible, and I think nowadays, even the brats of defense forces, they are not ready to join the defense forces. Forget about civilians. So this is something really, worries me. And as far as one rank, one pension is concerned, there was a dharna organized by Indian ex-servicemen movement at Jantar Mantar. And Shrikant, you won't believe when I saw General Kabdian and General sitting on the road along with their cadres and widows and, all rank JCOs and all. It is really, I feel ashamed. In which other country you will find this, where a deputy chief of Indian Army will sit on the road for their rights. So this is the worst thing can happen. And the whole of armed forces in recent Uttarakhand flood, you can make out that what armed forces are doing. And I have gone through with many, personal examples, and as far as few activities are concerned by citizen from forces to bridge this gap was a campaign, Know Your Soldiers, where we are teaching the students, school students, we are taking permission from schools to give a PowerPoint slide of 30 minutes to know about the fallen heroes. And you won't believe, in few states we have got the call from the principal, and they are saying we are ready to include Know Your Soldiers as a curriculum. So recently we had a trip to the Kargil expedition, and all the 3 officers and especially Colonel Anil Kaul was behind the success of the expedition, where we took 47 students from different parts of India, from the remotest place of India to the Kargil, and we had a successful Kargil expedition. And these type of activities, I think, will help to bridge the gap. And you won't believe that there was a landsliding in some part of Zosila, which is very narrow, and within a fraction of seconds, a lady major came up with the rescue team and they cleared the mess. And same thing happened at Ganderbal when we were coming on the return journey. There was an encounter was there. And you won't believe, from Kumbhang, 200 kilometers from behind, there was a chap who was monitoring our movement, and they immediately called me, they don't go to this place, go from this place. So this is really amazing. Well, I think we should acknowledge and recognize the due work of Indian Armed Forces, which they are doing it, and we are doing our part. We are doing a little bit what we can do.
One thing is for sure,
right,
Ankit.
Shrikant, yes. I want to come in. I want to just say Ankit and his boys have done last 3-4 years hundred job, and they are passing this information to everyone. And by now, they are every day increasing by hundreds and thousands. And I had requested each one of them that the youth of India has already awakened, and they must now be alive to the situations and play their role. 1 crore is the number which I requested Ankit to get in, and I'm sure in the days to come will come. Now, you asked a question regarding 1 rank, 1 pension. I would say this is one of the demand. There are so many things. The basic is, right from 1950, the armed forces status, pay and allowances, and inter-se equations and all have been brought down. Today, they stand 5 notches down, which is really unfortunate. And therefore, having a separate kind of ex-servicemen commission and everyone to serve till 60 years of age or looked after till then as anybody else, there are many such demands. But today, when we are looking at it, we can only say that if everyone, the government, the people, the soldiers themselves, and our service headquarters, they all now have to sit up and take note of and ensure that the security of the nation is paramount, and everything must be done to give the best. Only then this country can progress in economy, in any other social structure, science, or any technology. If you are protected well, you can really bring up your country to the future to play its rightful role.
Absolutely, sir. Absolutely, very true. And without the involvement and without interacting with armed forces, there's nothing much country could thrive. I want to bring in Anil Saab here. Colonel Anil Saab, I wanted to ask you. There's broader conversation going on in political circles these days, saying that we will use the ex-servicemen, the defense people, and also people from armed forces to curb crime in our areas. So how far is this true, sir? Is this really materializing, or did they politicize the defense armed forces or ex-servicemen people as well? Can you give us a realistic sense of how inclusive is this idea that they're putting out in the open is true, sir?
Platitudes, nothing on ground, just platitudes. When you actually see the situation, you run a security agency where you've got trained ex-servicemen. The Department of Ex-Servicemen Welfare goes and reduces their pay, goes and reduces their HRA, goes and reduces their remote locality allowance, goes and reduces their age. And what happens? They run to the private security agencies. And therefore you lose the ex-servicemen that should actually be doing what they're supposed to be doing. Now, you are actually shooting yourself in your own feet. So these are platitudes. Nothing is happening on ground.
So I wanted to ask Satbir Singh, Saab, just to bring in your ideas. You're seeing youth coming forward. You've seen Ankit and the team doing excellent work. A lot of people getting motivated. In the past 2-3 years, things have changed very drastically. A lot of people fighting for the gang rape victims. They're coming out onto the streets. They're taking the blows of the lathis. Do you think that there is going to be change in the coming days? The politics will be cleaned up. The institutions will set right themselves. Do you think that phenomenon will happen, sir?
Surprisingly, what you're saying is that a lot of rhetoric is coming out in terms of direction. Unfortunately, this needs to be converted into action. When that happens, I would like to congratulate those people who actually make it happen. Till such time as that happens, I'm afraid it is only a question of talking and keeping their seats. Hello?
Yes, sir. Yes. So, as we can see that. Go ahead, sir. It's there. A lot of people are talking about it. There's no doubt that they want clean governance and this and that. But when you actually see what is happening on a daily basis, even if you go for a program or a debate, it is scoring brownie points one over the other. Where is the question of governance? The governance is what has suffered, and that is what we need to correct. And if that happens, we'll be swinging. But till that happens, I'm afraid we'll only be talking platitudes. Absolutely, sir. Absolutely. Ankit, if you're still on, Ankit, I just wanted to ask you.
Yeah.
So what's your final thoughts, Ankit? What should citizens do? Because your organization itself is Citizens for Forces. What is the minimum basic you expect the citizens do, Ankit?
First of all, I would like to the one thing which is very problematic to me is the divide between the civil counterparts along with the army. So this is a very terrible situation, number one. Number two, if you compare the both institutions, but wherever you have placed army, they are doing phenomenal job. But where is the civil administration in the country? Where was the civil administration in Madhya Pradesh? Where was the civil administration in Punjab? When a train accident happened, we need army at every time. I have been to Core 15 on an invitation to General Sayyid Tasneem, who was retired as a military secretary. And you won't believe, other than guarding border, they are running schools, they are running multi-utility centers, they are running computer courses, they are inducting the stone belters into the mainstream. What else you require from army? What else you require from the army? So this is number one. Secondly, from every citizen, I would request to acknowledge, just acknowledge the role of the Indian Armed Forces and give them their due respect, which they really deserve. And on 26th, as General Satbir Singh has clearly said, that I would request everybody to remember these 527 fallen heroes. And you just pay your tribute and homage to these martyrs. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you, Ankit. Sir, Anil Saab, thank you very much for joining the show, and excellent insights. And the biggest...
Shrikant, I'd like to leave you with one thought.
Please.
Kargil Vijay Diwas is an important event. However, let us not forget the sacrifices of the Indian soldier right from 15th August 1947. Kargil Diwas is part of it. There have been others also, let us not forget them. And one thing which I request, which must come as a groundswell from, as you said, Indians across the world, is that high time, 65 years, let's build a national memorial for the armed forces. Let's get that up at least.
Right.
Nothing else.
Right.
National Memorial for Armed Forces.
And Shrikant just add on to Call. I mean, he's very right. This was the only battle which was telecasted to your drawing rooms. Otherwise, what about 65 and 71? What about 87? So this is something we need to remember, our sacrifice of our soldiers. Heroes like Colonel Anil Kaul himself, Captain Bana Singh, and many others. So Abdul Hamid. So these are the heroes, and there should be, among civilians, there should be a feeling to honor these heroes.
Very true, Ankit. Ankit, the one thing is guaranteed that no matter how small or bigger initiative, when I go through the posts on Citizen for Forces, right, you put some posts saying that, hey guys, sleep well, our security forces are guarding us, don't worry about it. So these messages that I see on Citizen for Forces is really motivating. I would request everyone who's listening to this show, go to facebook.com/citizen4 as numeric 4, Citizen 4 Forces. You'd get incredible things about what's going on around our defense people and also armed forces, men and women in uniform. It's the minimum, least basic thing that you guys should do. Go to Citizen for Forces. And you can also grab Citizen for Forces on Google to get more insights about it. So once again, as Anil Saab has enlightened, that it is not just about Kargil Vijay Diwas. We celebrate and we also commemorate the fallen heroes right from our independence in 1947. So first of all, thank you very much to Anil Saab. Thank you very much, Ankit, for coordinating these efforts, and thank you very much, Megha ji. I'm not sure if General Satbir Singh is on call, and thank you very much, Satbir Saab. Thank you very much, General VK Singh. Really appreciate your time. And as I'm telling again and again, let's keep these conversations open. Let's bring in at least one defense personnel, their story, their ideas, their courage, their compassion, their stories of bravery to the general public. So if you have any such stories, please do write to us. Ankit, if you have any such stories, please do write to us at nrisamay@gmail.com. We will immediately get connected.
Surely.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Appreciate it. And friends, that is today's show on Kargil Vijay Diwas. And it's just not about Kargil Vijay Diwas. It's a time, it's a moment when we'll all have to remember all our fallen heroes and not just commemorating the Kargil Vijay Diwas. So these are the finest people. I'm sure each one of us could do a little bit from our side for our forces. On this Kargil Vijay Diwas, each one of you can visit physically a military memorial park if they're around in your city or your town to salute the heroes. You could tell your kids the good night stories of bravery, commitment, compassion, and courage that these brave soldiers exhibit. If you have an ex-serviceman or a military officer around your neighborhood, just walk down to his house and then say thank you. These are simple little things that each one of us can do. From NRI Samay Radio, we cannot afford to miss talking to our brave officers who did everything for the nation. In the last year's radio program on Kargil Vijay Diwas, we got together with our brave military officers to walk down the memory lane of Kargil Vijay Diwas and how the events unfolded and how our brave soldiers actually fought back, and many more as such in that year. And this year, we wanted to focus on the core issues that our brave men and women in uniform have on a day-to-day basis and how each one could offer help. So that's it for today, friends. Thank you very much for joining in. This is Shrikant from NRI Samay. And as always, you can visit our YouTube channel, youtube.com/NRI Samay. You can like us on Facebook, facebook.com/NRI Samay. Twitter, twitter.com/NRI Samay. Thank you very much, friends, wherever you are around the world. A very warm good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Have a great, great weekend. Thank you.